Bringing our favorite video game characters to life in today's industry is no simple task. It requires that perfect blend of captivating performances, compelling storytelling, and genuine emotion from the actors and narrative designers, all brought to life through stunning visuals and technical expertise of the developers and engineers.
Their interactions with the world and relationships with the other characters add depth, whether through heartfelt drama, laugh-out-loud comedy, or thrilling action. Whether they're heroes, villains, animal companions, or dream husbandos, these characters leave a lasting impact, making us cheer, cry, and reflect long after the credits roll.
To kick things off, we're presenting the boss key for Best Villain. A truly compelling villain is more than just an obstacle. They're complex, relatable, and driven by strong motivations. Whether seeking power, revenge, or acting on a twisted sense of justice, their actions feel personal and authentic by drawing players into their story. They also challenge the player's morals and decisions, creating emotional depth and urgency. With gripping backstories, intense dialogue, and epic confrontations, a well-crafted villain leaves a lasting mark, making their defeat feel truly earned. Here are the nominees for Best Villain.
I'm here for you.
Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Louise, Metaphor, ReFantazio.
Of time until Louise takes the throne.
The Witness, Destiny 2, The Final Shape. Varam, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Overlord Galerius, Unicorn Overlord.
Now then, the hour has come. There are those among Galerius's adherents who willfully chose to betray the queen.
And the boss key goes to...
Survivor. Certainly. It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace.
Louise, Metaphor, ReFantazio.
I suppose it's only a matter of time until Louise takes the throne.
Heed me, O kingless. It can't be, His Majesty. But he was dead. Whosoever hath truly earned the greatest fate.
Hey there, folks. We are from Fun and Games Podcast. I'm Geoff Moonen.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Fun and Games Podcast is an interview and conversation podcast about video games from an optimistic view of gaming, because every game is somebody's favorite and no one person can play every game that's out there. So that's why we like to have conversations with people in and out of the games industry, and we have our series Side Quests as well.
Yes. Geoff and I do a multitude of things beyond just our podcast, but a brief pitch for Side Quests is... in that vein of every game is somebody's favorite, we have folks come on and gush about a game they love and why they love it. Folks from the Boss Rush community, as well as hosts from the various podcasts, have come on or will come on. Spoilers. And so we really love just sharing positive stories of games within the space. And that's kind of the ethos of Fun and Games. And just to briefly plug, I also do a video game podcast called Reignite, which is I guess you could say a podcast, like an actual play podcast or a like play along podcast. We're covering BioWare games. We started with the Mass Effect trilogy, went on to Mass Effect Andromeda, and now we're doing the Dragon Age series. We're currently playing through Dragon Age 2. I do that with the incredible Frankie Bradley Lestrange. Yeah. And you can find that at all places, Reignite Pod.
Yeah, and all of this is part of the Certain POV network. You can find all of those things there, certainpov.com. And in addition to that, I am also a voice actor and just an avid gamer, and really happy to be here and thankful that Boss Rush is having us here to help present the next category.
Yeah, we met the Boss Rush folks. I think I met them first before Geoff got to meet them.
Yes, you did.
And it was through the incredible Dan O'Mac, who I have known since Dan was in high school, and now we're both so old. But Dan introduced me to some of the Boss Rush folks at a PAX several years ago, and I became friends with them online, and then we've connected since and collaborated a bunch, and it's been a blast. And I really love the Boss Rush community. I love the writing that these folks do. I love the community they've curated of folks who just really love games. It's a really positive vibe, and we're excited to be involved in any way. It's always a blast to team up with these folks.
Yeah, and so if you are a huge fan of the Boss Rush Network and this is the first time you're seeing us, well, how appropriate, because we are here to present for the category of Best New Character of the Year.
Yep. With new video games comes fresh new characters. As vehicles for gameplay and story, characters play an important part in an immersive experience.
The best characters are ones we can either relate to on a personal level or evoke empathy from within. Especially in a time where remakes and remasters abound, we want to take the time to acknowledge protagonists that made their debut in 2024.
We are honored to present the nominees for Best New Character.
My name is Zhao.
Zhao.
Shaman of Kenzera.
Tales of Kenzera, Zhao.
I seek my father's return.
Victor Chevalier, Tekken 8. Emi Kimura, Yar's Rising. Luis, Metaphor Refantasio. Gory, Cuddly Carnage. And the boss key goes to...
The tragedy of the royal family is only the beginning. So, what would you say to an alliance?
Luis, Metaphor Refantasio.
We couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
The man I fought beside was not so ruled by anger and malice.
Count Luis gave us a dream to fight for.
So, contestants, are you ready?
So many people are wonderful companions, and that's going to bring us to our next category, which are animal companions. A good animal companion is a welcome part of any journey, blending emotional connection, practical use, and personality. Dog meat offers loyalty and comfort in a broken world. Wolf Link in Breath of the Wild enhances combat and exploration while evoking Twilight Princess nostalgia. Nyx from Star Wars Outlaws cleverly distracts enemies and retrieves items with playful charm. The companions aren't just tools, they're true partners that make the invention more enjoyable. Here are the nominees for Best Animal Companion. Neva. Asan, Dragon Age, The Veilguard. Chromaru, Persona 3 Reload.
Fortunately, she won't
Nyx,
alone.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Kay and Nyx have been inseparable partners.
Ramco, Images of Metal.
お前には村の者にもない奇妙な力があるのだ。魔物を石に変えて。
And the boss key goes to... Never.
Okay, Chesley. I think it's time. My heart's in the highlands. My heart is not here. My heart's in the highlands. Not chasing a deer. The hills of the highlands, forever and love. Farewell to
Hello, I'm Kristi, Jimenez, the narrative designer at Snowhaven series, where we make visual novels from murder mystery to acute romance. Although many know me as Husbando goddess from my undying love of fictional men, I've been making visual novels for at least 4 years now, that feature charming characters that people can't help fall in love with. I was made aware of Boss Rush Network through Stephanie, who I met at PAX West, where we bonded over the various indie games at the showcase, visual novels, and of course, fictional old men. And as the self-proclaimed Husbando goddess of the internet, I have the utmost honor of presenting 2 boss keys dedicated to the best Husbando and best waifu of the year. A lot of attention gets put into video game characters, and when they hit just the right notes, they often become players' new bias, hyperfixation, or in this case, Husbando and waifu. And 2024 was filled with charming characters, hot, and even morally corrupt men that players, including myself, couldn't help but fawn over.
This is someone else. Ganja.
Here are the nominees for Husbando of the Year. Kiryu Kazuma, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Lucanus de la Morte, Dragon Age, The Veilguard. Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Van Arkwright, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Victor, Tekken 8.
Get ready for the next battle.
And the boss key goes to...
Freeze.
Kiryu Kazuma, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
High time you met the head of the Barracudas. Name's Dwight.
Barracudas are after me. Akane-san, they're after her too.
But let us not forget the wonderful woman that captured players' attentions this year. From pure-hearted mages to badass heroines who had players shouting, "Please step on me!" at their screens. There was a waifu for everyone this year. Here are the nominees for Waifu of the Year.
Wait.
Eric Gainsborough, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Ready, I'll be here.
Eve, Stellar Blade.
All we must do is complete the mission.
Rosalind, Unicorn Overlord.
Sing this hymn together, son.
Sun-Hee, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
This is someone else. Yeah.
Tifa Lockhart, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the boss key goes to...
No!
Cloud! Cloud!
Tifa Lockhart, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
You know I won't. Here we go.
My name is Liana Ruppert, or Dirty F and Hippie, and I am absolutely stoked to be here at the 2024 The Bossies, because we like celebrating games, as you should, because games are cool. You might know me as somebody that's worked in the gaming industry for about 22 years now. I was media with things like Prima Games and Game Informer, or you might know me from my work at Bungie on Destiny 2, or various accessibility or hosting things that I've done through the years, or you might not know me at all, and I just come off as a prattling idiot, which... fair, but very excited to be here. I do a lot of YouTube, a lot of cool kid stuff. That was cringe. I just like talking about games. I like celebrating games, and we should, because games are amazing, and we had a really good year in games. And I feel like even though the online conversations don't always reflect that, it's important to celebrate that because games are an art form, and we appreciate art in this house. I'm really excited to be a part of this, even just in a small way, just because Corey and I initially met when I was at Bungie as a community manager for Destiny 2. And just that sense of community and getting to formulate really cool relationships and friendships based off of a game experience is incredible. And being able to celebrate games this year is really cool because It has not been an easy time in games. We are at record-breaking layoffs between not even the studios that haven't been mentioned, because a lot of indies never got media attention. Agencies are shutting down left and right, and we are probably close to 36,000 layoffs since 2022, which is a lot. It's a smaller industry. And to still see this art form persevere despite a lot of complications, both with studios sticking up for themselves for better working conditions or taking back some power from publishing hands, which has been years and years and years in the making. There's a lot of heart in making games, and I think that is very much reflected in this year as well, especially with seeing the impact that layoffs and things like that have on that art form and the discussions around that art form. But speaking of that, I gotta say, I'm gonna not shock anybody here if you know me at all and say that some of my favorite experiences. Okay, two. I can't just pick because there's a lot of good ones. The third one will make up for the first two, I promise. I gotta give it to my people at BioWare. Dragon Age Veilguard was everything I wanted. Was it a perfect game? Absolutely not. But it was beautifully told. This game restarted production so many times, more than it should have. Countless layoffs, which are incredibly disheartening. And what they were able to pull together immediately made me go back in for another playthrough. I'm now on my third Rook. The art style, the new way of seeing, being able to see this world through a commoner perspective was very cool to me. So hats off to Dragon Age team. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for a new experience. Also, I got to be the basic one. Silent Hill 2, that coming out again and having a new lease on life has been incredible, because even though I am not good with horror games, I love them. And that Silent Hill 2 will never stop making me piss myself, to be honest, but it's totally worth it because trauma. So here's my third one, and this is going to be the redeeming factor. If you have not played it, you need to. It is called, and I got to get my notes so I say this correctly because I always mispronounce it, Sylvia Black Waters by Dread XP published. It's the publisher. Stormageddon is the developer. That universe is incredible. It's a horror game. If you know me, I love ghost hunting. I went ghost hunting earlier this year. It is the perfect blend of atmospheric storytelling, an FPS shooter experience, exploration, fear of deep under is very real for me, but also with all the alien talk and the water in the ocean this year, come on, it was perfect. It came out this year. Love indie games regardless. You should all play more indies, but they just really perfected being able to tell a tale that crawls under your skin, and you have to spend a lot of time unpacking. And the story was just incredible. But you got ghosts, you got mysterious water, you've got storytelling, you've got lore. It's just, and any game that has EVP machines in it is an okay game in my books. So if you haven't played it, slightly less basic answer, even though you should never apologize for what you like. You should definitely check out that game because that team did an incredible job. And you should also, again, play more indies. That's just my opinion. I also just want to thank, now that I've kind of rambled too much and way over my time limit, please don't hit me with the please wrap it up sign. But just want to say, to the Boss Rush fam, Stephanie, Corey, David, all of the entire team, you're amazing. The Boss Rush media team is incredible. They love games. It's very evident how much they love games. They love the communities around games. They love people that make games. They love the experience themselves. They're just an incredible group of people. Very proud of you, and thank you for letting me be a part of this. This is awesome. If for some reason you like this brand rambling, which you should probably get that checked out, you can find me anywhere, Dirty F and Hippie. I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna be starting streaming soon again. I've got a lot of thoughts and opinions on things like Blue Sky and Twitter and Instagram and all that. But if you like it, you don't got to put a ring on it. But feel free to hit me up on socials if you want, or if you just want somebody to talk Dragon Age with, because I'm down. But thank you guys so much again for letting me be a part of this. And let's get on with the show.
I'm honored to present the Boss Key for Best Hero of 2024. A great video game hero leaves a lasting impression with a compelling backstory, relatable motivations, and strong personality. They pull us into their journey, making us eager to fight alongside them and face their challenges. Their unique abilities and gameplay mechanics adds excitement, while their growth and struggles make them memorable and relatable. The best heroes inspire us, shape the world they inhabit, and often become iconic in their own right in gaming's history. Here are the nominees for Best Hero in 2024. Kate 6 from Destiny 2, The Final Shape. Ichiban from Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Senua from Senua Saga, Hellblade 2.
The king's magic wasn't
Will from Metaphor Refantatio.
Enter this tournament for the throne.
I will not.
Zhao from Tales of Kanzara, Zhao.
Hear my plea.
Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. And the Boss Key goes to Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
Hi, this is Lala from Toge Productions. I just wanted to say thank you to Boss Rush for inviting us to be part of the 2024 Bossies, a celebration of video game. So Boss Rush Media and Network has been an amazing supportive partner to us, and it means a lot to be part of this celebration. So once again, thank you to Boss Rush Network for being awesome. Also, we have some exciting news for you. Toge Productions is celebrating its anniversary, and we want you to join the fun. The Toge Productions Anniversary Direct is happening on January 17th, 10 a.m. Pacific Time on Toge Productions YouTube channel. So get ready for a broadcast filled with exciting game announcements and sneak peeks on what we've been working on. Make sure to check out our Anniversary Direct and see you there!
Hi everyone, I'm Voldi Wei, founder, CEO, and tyrannical overlord of WayForward. Thank you, Corey, and everyone at the Boss Rush podcast for including us in this year's Bossies. WayForward had a truly amazing 2024 that started with our update to a classic gaming series, Contra Operation Galuga, and continued with games like Rose and Camellia Collection, Yar's Rising, Clock Tower Rewind, Retro Realms Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Retro Realms Halloween. We also released some exciting new add-on content such as Bloodstained Classic Mode 2 and the River City Girls 2 Double Dragon DLC. 2025 is WayForward's 35th anniversary, and it just might be our best year yet, with Shantae Advance Risky Revolution finally getting into players' hands, We're also re-releasing Sigma Star Saga, and not only for PC and modern consoles, but for the actual Game Boy Advance as well. And of course, we've got a bunch of unannounced projects in development too. I wish I could tell you more, but you know, NDAs. Thank you to the WayForward fans for supporting us this past year, and we hope you'll enjoy our upcoming games in 2025. We'll be back here on the Boss Rush podcast to chat about them as they're announced. See you then!
Hello friends, my name is Patrick Knisely and I'm with One Frog Games. I'm super excited to show you a trailer for our debut indie game, Monochrome Heights. Monochrome Heights is a tough-as-nails 2D pixel art vertical platformer with a color swapping mechanic, where you have to swap between black and white to climb upwards and avoid obstacles. The game's going to be releasing in the first half of 2025. I want to give a special thanks to the whole Boss Rush community for all of your support along the way. I hope that everyone has a wonderful year. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Meet Happy the robot. Happy's on a mission to climb Layla's tower. To do so, Happy will have to run, jump, slide, and phase all the way to the top. It won't be easy. Help guide Happy on their journey upwards in Monochrome Heights.
A beloved character that is brought to life on screen is only as incredible as the actor who plays them. Gone are the days of monotone sentences or fragmented conversations. Quality voice acting and motion capture play a vital role in the modern gaming experience, and the players demand excellence. So many hardworking actors poured their heart and soul into video game characters that make the experience more immersive and more memorable. I'm here to present the boss key to one of these fantastic actors.
Cloud,
and the nominees are
bring me the black materia.
Cloud,
Brianna White as
Whatever
Aerith Gainsborough,
I'm here for you.
Mary died of that death.
Luke Roberts as James Sunderland, Melina Juergens as Senua, Troy Baker as Indiana Jones,
How often it comes in handy.
Nathan Fillion as Cade Six,
Guardians, ghosts, the Traveler.
and the boss key goes to
You're messing with powers beyond your control.
Troy Baker as Indiana Jones,
Are you sure about this?
Don't worry, I do this all the time.
Find a way out before we're crushed!
I'm excited to be here at the Bossies presenting the Boss Key for the award we've all been waiting for. We've learned about the best villains, the hottest husbandos and waifus, the biggest heroes, and now it's time to show some love to the real heroes of our stories, those party members or side characters that steal the show with their comic relief, their self-doubt, their awkwardness, and their own flavor of stories. I'm here to give one of these bad, bumbling best buddies our most unlikely hero and biggest dork of 2024. These characters steal our hearts by overcoming their self-doubt and embracing their uniqueness, revealing surprising skills or knowledge that prove essential in tough situations, showing that anyone can be a hero no matter how unlikely they seem at first. This transformation makes them relatable and inspires us to see a bit of ourselves in their journey. Here are the nominees for Most Unlikely Hero / Biggest Dork. Yuffie Kisaragi, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Martial Law, Tekken 8. Catherine Portillo, Until Then. Luigi, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Ryoma Sakamoto, Rise of the Ronin. And the Boss Key goes to Luigi, Mario and Luigi Brothership. As you can see, creating the memorable characters of the past year is a true achievement, coming in all shapes and sizes. They blend strong performances, great storytelling, and impressive visual design.
The teamwork between actors, writers, and developers helps players connect with the characters in meaningful, sometimes unexpected ways. Whether through drama, humor, or action, these characters make the year's experiences unforgettable. When done well, they don't just tell a story, they let us live it, leaving us thinking about them long after the game ends.
Hi, Brian Shea here, host of the All Things Nintendo podcast and former director at Game Informer magazine. Thank you so much to the team at Boss Rush for including me in the Bossies 2024. Here to share my top 3 games of the year that we just concluded. I think it was actually a very strong year, despite the fact that we didn't have these major tentpole releases, but it was a very hotly contested spot at the top of my Game of the Year list. But without further ado, here is the quick rundown of my top 3 games of 2024. Coming in at number 3, it's the game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, Astrobot. And any game from these top 3 entries on my favorite games of the year could easily be number 1 any day of the week. It's just, you caught me on this day, so this is the order it's coming in. But number 3 for me, Astrobot. It's so rare that Nintendo is outdone, matched, or even come close to in the realm of a platformer. And Astrobot is one of those where it is as good, if not better, than some of my favorite 3D Mario games. And that is saying so much. The creativity, the clear love for just gaming in general, and the unbridled joy that Astrobot delivers is higher concentration than any other game I've played in recent memory. It's just a blast to play through, and I can't wait to replay it. I'm so happy that I saw it all the way through, and there's so many more secrets that I have that I every time I fire up my PlayStation to play something else, it's always a temptation for me to go back and see if I can just find that one other Astrobot that I haven't found before. So that comes in at number 3 for me. Number 2 is a game that I think caught everybody by surprise this year, and that is Balatro. It is, a poker roguelike by a guy who doesn't really like poker, from what I understand. but he has taken the game mechanics, the core game mechanics of poker, which whether you like it or you don't like it, it's a well-designed game, and its longevity would tell you that. But he has the developer Local Thunk has made a product out of poker in Balatro that is perhaps even more perfectly designed than poker itself, because it gives you that incredible one more round feeling. And roguelikes have always been a tough sell for me. And in order to hook me, it needs that amazing eureka moment from the very early stages. And there's been, I would say, I can count on my hand how many roguelikes I've stuck with. Balatro might be my favorite roguelike of all time. It might be among my favorite indie games of all time. And for that, it lands at number 2 for me. It's absolutely my playing game at this point. It's always been Vampire Survivors, but now Balatro has kind of supplanted that as I have time to kill on a flight, I'm going to fire up Balatro. And then number 1 for me is a game that when I finished it, I said it would take something extremely special to dethrone this as my game of the year. Balatro and Astrobot almost did it, but not quite. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it was the game that coming into this year I was most excited for, and it delivered. It is the exact kind of open world that I can get obsessed with. I know some people had some problems with the pacing. Some people had some problems with the way the open world progressed. I didn't have problems with any of those. I loved the story. I loved the open world exploration. I think I 100%ed the first 3 biomes, and then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to actually play through this story or I'm never going to finish it. But yeah, just the emotional journey that these characters that we're all so familiar with by now are going through. It's truly one of my favorite games of this generation so far, and I cannot wait to see how this development team that is, a combination of newcomers to the franchise or relative newcomers and the old guard like Tetsuya Nomura and Yoshinori Kitase, who've been with the franchise for decades. They've come together to create something really special in these first 2 parts of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. And the third part, I have no reason to believe will be any different. So thank you so much again to the team at Boss Rush for including me in this. And if you want to find me, you can search for the All Things Nintendo podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
What is up, everybody? My name is Cameron Hawkins. I was asked by Boss Rush to talk about my 3 of my favorite games of 2024. For those that don't know me, I'm a huge JRPG guy, so all the games I'm going to be talking about are JRPGs. So the first game I want to talk about is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was a fantastic game that came out earlier in the year and has stuck with me to the end of it for both good and bad reasons. I think overall it's still an absolutely fantastic game. I think that there was a lot of expectations on this game and bringing the world of Gaia to life and exploring through all the different regions and iconic locations like the Golden Saucer and things like that I really think they did super well. The combat is absolutely phenomenal, like one of my favorite combat systems in any video game, regardless of genre. So shout out to them for that. Yeah, I just had a really great time with this game. I do have my issues with the story and how the narrative was handled, but I do think that a big part of that is that this is a part 2 of a 3-part story, so it's kind of hard to start a story and end it when it's so directly connected to the first game and the original Final Fantasy VII story. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, definitely worth playing, definitely worth checking out. In my opinion, one of the best games of this year. The second game I want to talk about is The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Over the past 4 years now, I have become a massive fan of the Legend of Heroes series. I have a tattoo. I met the creator and had his signature tattooed on me. I love this series. And it's really hard to talk about specifically Trails Through Daybreak because it is a series kind of like Kingdom Hearts where playing all of the games matter, in my opinion. There will be people that will say you can start with Daybreak, and objectively you can, but you're not going to get the narrative payoffs and the world building that you get if you were to start from the beginning. You get things spoiled for you. You get story, you get characters at certain parts in their life where they have already gone through all of this character growth or trauma or whatever, and so they're not the same way that they're introduced in their initial introduction in the series. And those are the things that make this series so special. And Trails Through Daybreak is the first game in the newest arc, the 4th arc of the series. And we got a new cast, new location in Calvard. And it's all, what you expect from Trails. It's high quality writing, world building, characters, diverse characters, well-written arcs. Everything about it is still so good. And I really want to use this time to be yes, Trails Through Daybreak is one of the best games of this year, but also just play the Trails series from the beginning. Play Trails in the Sky. It's on Steam. It's cheap. It's $20 to start it off, and it's a 35-hour game. And if you don't like it, you can stop. But everyone that I know that has played it, that off my recommendation, has fallen in love with the series too. And I think that you should all give it a great, a real shot. And you might, like me, end up finding a new one of your favorite video game series of all time. And my last game and my game of the year is Metaphor ReFantazio. There's a lot of different reasons as to why it is my game of the year. I think it serves as a culmination of not specifically Studio Zero, but the game director Katsura Hashino, who's directed SMT3, Persona 3 through 5, Catherine. This feels like his magnum opus in a way where the vision of what he's trying to accomplish here is so clear. And just for me personally, I love JRPGs because I love the stories that they tell. I love the way that stories are told in JRPGs. I love the combat. I love the settings that these stories take place in. And I think that all of those things are done so incredibly well in Metaphor. I think that the way that they blend together the mechanics of SMT and Persona, as well as introducing new mechanics, makes it feel fresh but also familiar. I think that the characters, the party members, are very diverse and have different backgrounds, and they use those characters to tell a bigger story and make the world feel more real, because the party members are each from a different tribe. I love how the story kind of presents this question of, does silver democracy really give people power? And the idea of the racial themes, the social themes that go throughout the story. I think Lord Luis is one of the best, not just JRPG villains, but video game villains in recent memory. I think all the voice performances are so well done, even for I feel like that there is this kind of disrespect to localization voice performances that aren't initially meant to be in the English language, that they're Japanese and they get translated over. I think the performances in these games are absolutely incredible. I really think that this is a phenomenal game. I think this game is going to hold up for a very, very long time, and it's going to be relevant down the line. And I think that if you are not super into JRPGs, you're not an enthusiast like me, but you want to try and find one that is modern and approachable, I think Metaphor is a prime example of that. So yeah, Metaphor ReFantazio is my personal game of the year.
Hey there, Bossies! I'm CGDannyB, and I really like indie games. I like sharing them with you guys. The Boss Rush crew has asked me to talk for a little bit, and asking me to talk is a dangerous request. So I've been making content since 2017 under the group named Couch Gnomes, and a lot has changed for me over the course of those 8 years. But 2024 may be the biggest year for me as a creator yet. Maybe not so much in terms of growth, but all of the cool stuff that I've had going on. At the beginning of the year, I got to go to my very first convention, PAX East. Not only did I get to go as a content creator, but also as a special guest where I got to be a part of my very first panel, talking about the best games on the Nintendo DS. And while I was roaming the PAX East floor, I got to sit down with a bunch of developers and preview their games before they even came out. Some even behind closed doors. They even had like fun little bottles of water and t-shirts for me. That was really cool. I also got to meet a bunch of content creators that I watch on a daily basis, and I got selfies with them. And this is actually where I met the Boss Rush team. Now, little did I know they were actually a team and not just a bunch of random creators sitting at the same table. Then during a round of handshakes, ended up knocking over somebody's coffee. But at least it wasn't caught on camera. Until it was. Dang it. And after that weekend at PAX, I got invited onto my friend's podcast. And then another friend's podcast. And then another, and another, and another. Oh, hey, they look familiar. And it was at that point that I realized I really enjoyed podcasting. So I got with my buddy Topher and we finally started our own podcast, Playlog. We get to discuss indie gaming news, reviews, and whatever we choose. And after going on nearly 40 weekly episodes since we got started, I'm loving every second of it. But that's still not all. With 2024 being the inaugural year of the Indie Game Awards, I was invited by the 6-1 Indie team to be a judge for the award show, which is insane to me that I was even considered. And wow, can you believe that won Game of the Year? Honestly, I'm recording this whole thing before the award shows even happened. I have no idea who actually won, but I'm betting it was Balatro. But speaking of Balatro, I couldn't make a video talking about my 2024 without mentioning all of the awesome indie developers I got to work with. I've been given the opportunity to review and play test so many awesome indie games this year, all made by incredible development teams or sometimes just one person. And in a world where the AAA space becomes somewhat samey year after year, the indie space exists to bring us fresh new takes on genres that we already love, but more importantly, games that are made with heart and passion over the idea of making fat stacks of cash. So for every developer who's reached out and trusted me with a copy of your game to play for review or for stream, thank you. You are the backbone of this industry and I cannot wait to see what you make next. But anyway, that is enough from me. For now. I want to give a huge shout out to the Boss Rush crew for inviting me to talk about myself today. If you're looking for your next favorite indie game, be sure to check out my YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok so I can prove to you that saying there's just nothing to play is absolute bull. And of course, if you want to hear more of this beautiful voice in your ear holes, you can check out Playlog Podcast on all your favorite streaming services, from Spotify to Amazon Music, or if you like the old video version, it's available on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching the 2024 Bossies. Let's send it back to the main crew. Bet. Ow, my knee.